Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video, and today we're going to take a look at the new Dokkan Festival exclusive Android 13 at 55% in the dupe system. As you guys can see though, today I actually did manage to rainbow Android 13 quite easily. It doesn't usually happen like this, but it was one stream. I think it was only 1,900 stones is all it took me to awaken this Android 13, which is honestly maybe within the top 5 quickest I've ever rainbowed a Dokkan Festival exclusive, so I am very, very appreciative of that on this Thanksgiving, let me tell you all that. So, the only thing though is that usually I feel like these 55% videos are for me to kind of like, I always think it's like, okay, so for global players, right? You guys can kind of see how well the unit would perform and kind of think like, okay, in the future, do I want to use stones in that banner when it arrives? But even for global, I gotta imagine this Android 13 banner would be a skip. I don't know, maybe not, depending upon when it comes out on global. Maybe it'll be in a particularly dry period without big hype banners on the horizon. Because like right now on GP, I guess I'll level them up while I'm talking, but we're expecting monster hype banners in like a couple weeks, so there's no reason to summon on this. But keep in mind, Piccolo came back on this guy's banner, right? Whereas on global, Piccolo hasn't even released yet. So, you know, maybe if you're a global player, you think, okay, I'll skip Piccolo's banner, and then I'll summon on the Android 13 banner, and I can get Android 13 and maybe hopefully Piccolo in one go. You know, that potentially could be the case. So, you know, keep those things in mind. I leveled him up. Let's go ahead and test him out on a few of his different teams. He definitely is very, very good. There's no doubt about that. Alright guys, so we're starting out here on the Movie Boss team. I kind of like tossed on some of the Movie Boss units to kind of test out our boy Android 13, right? Now, one of the big things to keep in mind with him is that he does not transform until turn 5, which is a lot. That's, you know, it's pretty deep in a normal Dokkan Fest boss fight. You know, you're going to have some times you'll get there, but, you know, again, 5 turns is a lot. Now, I would say this, for the teams you're going to want to use Android 13 on, typically I feel like you're going to want to flood him around Android units. So there is at 1.68, I mean, that is pretty good for a 55% unit for sure. And he also is giving 30% attack and defense and 2 key to any Android category allies on the rotation. Of course, I have none for this, but that's okay, right? We're just kind of seeing what 13 is capable of doing next to a lot of these, you know, rainbow units and stuff I've got, so we can kind of see, you know, just like what he's capable of providing to the team, right? I see that's probably the big problem I think a lot of people are going to have with this guy is like that category, the Android category team, right, is obviously like super limited to only a certain type of unit. Now, I didn't bring LR Cell on this team, but obviously I could have done that, right? Movie Boss / full power team. That would have been a great unit to bring on here. LR Cell would work really well with Android 13. Really, Android 13, I think, is a great unit for LR Cell, actually. That's going to be a really nice thing. All right, so this is a good rotation right here. So we have Turles, this cooler, who I still have not done a rainbow video on. It's coming, I promise, at some point. At some point, I'll do the rainbow video on him. But that cooler is really, really good with extreme AGL units, right? 40% attack and defense he gives to extreme AGL. So he's going to work really well with our boy Android 13 here. I am trying to avoid super attacks wherever possible. So 1.91 right there. Okay. But I'm trying to avoid super attacks wherever possible so that we can kind of extend it. I do want to transform into Super Android 13 if we can and see like what type of damage he's going to be able to. Ooh, okay. 2,000. Oh, he does have type advantage. Okay, I was going to say that's really good. That's pretty damn good right there. But he has type advantage against this Android 13, of course. So like this guy really, again, this Android 13 unit, he's just like a really strong unit, right? Like, I don't know. I'd have to test him out a lot more on some of these teams. Like, I want to see his full power potential on, like, the Android team, right? You know, I'd want to see him on some of these teams. But, like, whereas Cooler is a support type unit for transformation boost. And, you know, Conquest of Terror as well, but more so transformation boost. That's like one of the most ridiculous categories in the game, right? Like it's insane. Like, you know, Android 13 is on there, for example. You know, SCR Cooler is on there, right? So like SCR Cooler actually would have been a great unit for me to bring here. But this Android 13, he's only buffing the Android category units, right? Now, sure, they are releasing those literally nonstop, like all the time, but still, I mean, you guys get what I'm saying. So see, like, look at this. This is turn 4 right here. Like, I don't know. Wait a minute, was this? Yeah, this is turn 4. Huh. Okay. So, like, we're just not going to get the transformation off. What's his defense? 95k at 55%. I feel like that's pretty good as well. So, I don't know. We're definitely... This Android 13 is not going to survive past this turn. So, I guess we're going to finish up here with this attack set by 13. And we'll probably move on to, like, you know, the Artificial Lifeform team where he'll be good on. There's a couple of other teams this Android 13 is going to be very solid on. I mean, he's definitely putting up good numbers. But, of course, you know, we're going to want to see him actually transform as well. Alright guys, so now we're over here on the Artificial Lifeform team. Again, this is going to be a very strong team for this Android 13. I mean, because typically you're going to have a lot of Android category units on here, right? Whereas, that's pretty much what we're going to want to see from him. I think probably the last team we're going to look at him is actually the Target Goku team. Because when he transforms into Super Android 13, he does get more attack and defense per Target Goku category ally. Although I think... really, a majority of the good... I want to push Super 17 off and get him with Android 13, I think. But the majority of the good Android units are on that target Android category. I'm also trying to buy as much time as possible here before our boy Android 13 actually goes ahead and transforms. Because, you know, it's just 5 turns... At this point, like, there's so many strong units on all these teams. It's just like... you know, 5 turns is just an awful lot. So this right here should be turn 4. So next turn, our boy Android 13 should transform. Do we have enough Android categories? Yeah, we do. Okay, we have 2 extra. Because that's what you need in order for him to transform is 2 extra. Okay, so good. I can actually get the transformation to come out. So, okay. How much damage will our boy Android 13 do right here? We have... oh, he does have Big Bad Bosses. Yes, he does. So... this could activate Big Bad Bosses for us. It did. Very good, very good. Is he above 2 million? I mean, with Kid Buu, he'd have to be, right? 1.59. I mean, well, okay, we are on the Artificial Lifeform team, too. Double 130% lead team. I don't know. Android 13, he's looking okay on these other teams. It seems like in order for his presence to really be felt, like, you got to use him on the Android team. He's just one of these units, right? He's not one of these units you could just toss onto any team and he is a god, right? Like STR Cooler, who no matter what you do with STR Cooler, he looks insane. It just looks like this Android 13, like, you know, that Target Goku / Android team, that's where you're going to want to rock him because, you know, where he's going to become really, really, like, powerful is when he's able to give that category support type buff to other units around him, right? I mean, or I guess when he transforms into Super Android 13, but even then when he transforms into Super Android 13, you know, he still needs Target Goku category allies on the team, right? Like, that's a really important thing there. So, okay, here we should be able to get his transformation. All right, and now we're going to bring out Android 13. The only thing is, I'd have to double check how many Target Goku category allies we actually have here on the team, but unfortunately it's probably not as many as I would like, right? Like, Kid Buu is a unit who did not make it onto the team, even though I really wish he had. We do, I believe, have Physical Kid Buu's passive, so that's good. Alright, so let's see how our boy Android 13 does here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Super 13 is Target Goku, so is Android 13. Baby is as well, both babies are. And then Metal Cooler. So, really, there's only 2 units on this team that aren't a Target Goku unit. His defense is 140k. That's quite good, actually. Okay, so let's see how much damage we'll do here. If Buu gets super attacked, we should be able to get a Big Bad Bosses active as well, which will be really, really nice. Oh, Big Bad Bosses is active. Okay. Interesting. We definitely had Kid Buu's passive active leading into the turn. So, okay, we got Kid Buu's passive and Big Bad Boss. 1.86. Wait a minute. Is that really Kid Buu's passive active? He had Ki at the start of turn, so it had to be. Did he get Ki from the field? No. So Kid Buu definitely had his passive active. Yeah, because he doesn't have Ki links. Okay. That was very weird, but I guess at the exact threshold for 80%. Yeah, it does say Big Bad Bosses is when HP is 80% or below. I think we were at exactly 80% because Kid Buu's support passive was definitely active, with the 2 heat on himself. That's how I could tell, because Kid Buu doesn't have healings, right? So there was that. That was really it. 1.81 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like Android team. It's got to be the Android team for 13. He'd be a lot more impressive if he didn't just follow Cooler. That's for sure. All right, guys. So now we're on the Target Goku team / well, it is Target Goku / Androids, but I picked all characters that are Target Goku here, right? I brought SCR Cooler. You know, we got the AGL Cooler, who's a 40% support type unit. We got, again, a lot of big-time firepower on this rotation. So, oh yeah, he probably has, what is that, Nightmare? I hope the androids don't finish him off right here. I guess I'll do this. I guess we'll do this, because I don't want... the androids and Android 13, they might finish him off. But we do have LR Android 16, 17, and 18 here. See, really, the big disappointment with 13 is that, I mean, quite honestly, he's very similar to the LR androids. I mean, if I'm gonna just be completely real, he's okay. So 1.91. So that's pretty good turn 1, right? Both my 13 is 55% and the friend 13 is 55%. By the way. All right. So there's a stun. He can stun, which of course will be good for Super Battle Road. Occasionally that'll be good for Battlefield. But no good for like Legendary Goku and stuff like that, right? But again, some fights in Dokkan Battlefield, stunning actually can be useful for. So occasionally that will actually be able to be helpful. Okay, so 13 and Cooler together, obviously, it is going to be pretty good. You know, we have the best TWAR in the game, and then the newest, literally the newest Dokkan Festival exclusive. The only thing is, so like this team is functioning pretty well with like, you know, Int Metal Cooler on the team. We got a lot of Android category support here as well. Cooler is not really okay, so 1.65 right there. Both Cooler and Metal Cooler are giving him support type passives for that. And then, you know, 13 is, yeah. I mean, obviously my Cooler is rainbowed, but like that's a big difference. I can't compare a 55% unit right there to that rainbow juggernaut Cooler, right? All right, so now here we are. What is this? Only turn 3 right here, man. See, like, here's the thing. You know, Cooler, on top of like just how crazy like me and everyone goes about him constantly, right? Just think, oh, he's so crazy, so good. Against like 75% of the game, Cooler can transform on turn 3. Turn 3. That's nothing. And that's against a pure Saiyan or a hybrid Saiyan. Again, that's like literally the entire game. Whereas like 13, like turn 5, like they did not need to give him my man turn 5 like that. Let's be serious. Like, he could have easily transformed on turn 4. I think turn 4 is fair. It might seem like, oh, you know, I'm just like nitpicking or something like that, but there is a big difference between turn 4 and turn 5, right? Like, think of Dragon Ball Super Broly transforms like almost every fight. You know, the LR Super Saiyan 4s, you get their active skill almost every fight, even in something like Super Battle Road and stuff like that. But turn 5 in some of those Super Battle Road like fights sometimes, it's not that easy to get all the time. So, you know, that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so we'll finish off this turn of Piccolo right here. Then next turn, we actually are going to get the transformation to occur into Super Android 13. And we are going to have a lot of support-type units on that rotation as well. Nice. Okay, so this is going to be a good representation of what 55% Super Android 13 can do. I call him Super Android 13, by the way. I think that was the Funimation dub for his name, right? Whereas I think in-game, technically, he's called Fusion Android 13. I do kind of like Super Android 13 a little bit better. I don't know. What do you guys like better? Fusion Android 13 or Super Android 13? I guess... Oh, man, I guess I am basically calling him Mystic Gohan. Like, I've always hated the name Mystic Gohan compared to Ultimate Gohan. And basically, by calling him Super Android 13, I'm calling him, like, Mystic Gohan. Like, that's the same thing. Oh! No. I gotta call him Fusion Android 13. Fusion Android 13, right? So he does have a pretty good animation, you know. It's transformation animation into 13 right there. There we go. Okay, so... We're not going to have Fierce Battle. We don't have Fierce Battle active, but 18... She does give, what, like 36%, I think? Here, let me quickly double check. I believe it's 36%. Yeah, she gives 36% to Android category allies, which is good. And then Int Metal Cooler, he's giving 30%. So, plus, again, Android 13 gets 13% attack and defense per target Goku category ally. The entire team is target Goku. We literally every single one. Wait, let me quickly double check that Int Metal Cooler is on there. I'm pretty sure he is. He's on there. He's on there. I don't know why I was nervous about that. Okay, so here's 18. She's gonna get hit. Whatever. This ain't really a big deal. Go ahead. Just tank that, my girl. Yeah, 39k. Sorry, Piccolo. 1.91. You know, I mean, I don't know. Like, are people gonna say I'm doing this showcase wrong? Like, it's a pretty good rotation for him. You know, let's turn freaking 5 here. You know, well, yes, we could have gotten better support type units. Can he get B pan on any of his teams? No. No, if you're going to use the actual leader skills, you can't get B pan on any of 13's teams either. That's pretty rare nowadays for a unit not to have LRB pan on any of their teams. Yeah, movie bosses, she's not on. She's not on androids, artificial life form, transformation boost, target Goku. Okay. All right, so this is going to be a better rotation right here for him. I mean, his defense is good. 146k is strong. That's for sure. He does have really nice defense. I do like that. Okay, so now we're getting double 40% right here. I know Cooler does have Nightmare. We're probably not going to activate Big Bad Bosses against Dokkanfest Piccolo. Dokkanfest Piccolo hits pretty softly. Even if Cooler gets like an additional super, he's not going to finish this Piccolo off. And yeah, even if Piccolo super attacks her, I don't think that's going to activate Big Bad Bosses. So this is going to be without it, but I'm not super impressed with 13. So there is a 2.25 million. Obviously, that's a lot better, but like, you know, I'm pretty sure we saw that from SDR Cooler, like, non-transformed at 55%. Like, I don't know. Y'all got to let me know what you think of him, but I am not really blown away by Android 13. He definitely has looked a lot better on this team, his own team, but that's the thing, like, in order for his effect to really be felt, you have to have all these Android category units around him, and unfortunately, some of the Android category units just aren't, like, they're not as good as some of the other categories, like, you know, just directly compare the Android category to Transformation Boost, and y'all will see what I'm saying, right? Like, I feel like this was a pretty negative video, but this guy he is really good. It's just Android team. We got to just stick to the Android team and the Target Goku team. Like, those teams is where this man has got to be used, because 95% of the time, you're just going to be in his non-transformed version anyway. So over there, you know, if you're maximizing his category support type buff, the 30% attack and defense he's giving, he is having a monster effect on the team, right? Like, again, that's why, like, in Future Gohan is so good. That's why Cooler is so good. I would say the difference is that the Master and Student Bond category is better than the Target Goku category, and I think, obviously, Transformation Boost and Conquest of Terror are better than Target Goku as well. You know, because, I mean, I guess we do have, like LR Tech Broly's on the team, but, like, who are you going to link him up with? Like, I guess another Broly unit, but, like, Dragon Ball Super Broly isn't on the team. Like, you got to link him with, like, Dragon Ball Z Broly, I guess. But, that's such a weird rotation to run on a double Android 13-led team. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I feel like if they want to drop LR Android 13, 14, and 15 together, that would be nice. I mean, I guess that is the other thing, too. I don't have Android 14 and 15 done yet. They are useful to have around as well, because, you know, they're going to give a 30% attack and defensive buff to Android 13. You know, they show you where super attacks are. They have a pretty good link set up with his. But I don't know. Let me get Android 14 and 15, like Dokkan Awaken. Let me rainbow them. Let me get 13 rainbowed. We'll hop in again. Maybe more focus on just, like, the Android team. But, like, you know, again, I just wasn't blown away by this Android 13. Like, solid, really good, but he's just not special. He's unfortunately, you know, he's just nothing we haven't seen before, right? I think he's just a little bit worse than probably Future Gohan and Cooler, but I think Future Gohan and Cooler just did it better than him. Again, like, if this guy was Artificial Life Form and Target Goku, I think that would be nice. And then maybe make him like an Artificial Life Form category ally support instead. So, like, if you just replace Android Leader Skill and Android category support with Artificial Life Form, this guy takes on a whole new life, because there isn't one of those units out right now, right? Whereas Android support, there's 100 of those. Android leader, there's 100 of those, right? So there's just like, I see no conceivable reason for like someone to summon on this banner right now. There's just none. Like, yeah, Piccolo is on there, and it's good that he's returning, but you know, you're better off just waiting for him. I don't know, man. Android 13, not as hype as some recent DOKKANFEST exclusives we gotten, that's for sure. All right, so this is Target Eliminating Circuit, Android 13. His leader skill, again, is the Target Goku or Android category, 3 key, 130% HP, and then 170% attack and defense. I do think one weakness of Android 13 is honestly the weakness of the Target Goku category. Leaving out the Zamasu units for no reason at all is very bizarre. And you know what would be nice is, oh, I don't know, the 3 key that STR Rose Goku Black gives, or the 3 key on Global that the Extreme Z-Awaken Physical Goku Black is going to give. Pretty sure they would fit pretty good on this team. You know, maybe a rotation of Tech LR Broly and STR Rose. That would have been nice. No, can't do that. How about Majin Vegeta, the character who literally was like, oh, see all these people around? Well, I'm just going to kill hundreds of them, Goku, if you don't fight me, because you're my only target. And Gohan steps up, and Vegeta's like, oh, back off! I don't care about you, I only care about Goku. And then Supreme Kai walks up, and Bobity's like, Vegeta, kill Supreme Kai right now. And Vegeta's like, no, you're controlling my body, but I'm only fighting Goku. But Vegeta wasn't targeting Goku, right? Dokkan, come on! Vegeta's soul is literally being controlled by Bobity, and Bobity's like, and Vegeta's like, nah, son, I'm only fighting Goku. Stop it. That man needs to be added to the category tonight. Majin Vegeta not on the category is so dumb. So 13 super attack is the Deadly Crash, which does immense damage, greatly lowers defense, and has a medium chance to stun. You know what would make me like this guy better? Get rid of the trash, greatly lowers defense, and toss on, like, he raises his defense for even, like, 1 turn, like, greatly raised defense for 1 turn. That would be nice. I would really like that. But, I mean, greatly lowers defense, it's just fodder. It's just a fodder ability. Literally the only place it's useful is, like, the Legendary Goku event. Like, that's it. I mean, I did notice that this Android 13 boss, like, Dokkan event has high defense, but, like, stop it. His passive skill, the Power of Hate, is 130% attack and defense, which is good. Then he gives the Android category allies 2 key and 30% attack and defense, which is definitely strong. Like, he is very strong as long as you have Android category allies around him, right? He does have this new ability where enemies cannot dodge his attacks, but there's so few places where that's going to happen to you. It's honestly not really that big of a deal. Like, sure, for the Legendary Goku event, this guy is going to be so damn good, right? Because that SCR UI Goku phase is really tough. You know, really, when I was struggling, like, to beat this, like, the Artificial Life Form team, like, going through the Legendary Goku event, this guy would have been great, but I already did that. So, I don't really need this guy for that team. I don't know. He's good, but he's good. And then, of course, he transforms when conditions are met, which is... It says transforms by fusing with 14 and 15 at the start of the 5th turn, but you don't actually have to have 14 and 15, right? You just need 2 more Android category allies on the team, so he himself does not count. You need 2 additionals besides him. But, like, an easy way to do that is on his team, you only essentially need 2 Android category allies, right? You can think of it as the friend Android 13, and then, you know, another Android category ally you'd bring on the team. His links are Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. Number 1, he has 2 dead links. Red Ribbon Army is plus 300 attack, and Android Assault is plus 1,000 defense. It's just disrespectful. I have been screaming from the rooftops forever. Can we please buff the Android Assault link? Defense plus 1,000 does nothing for us. Attack and defense 10%. And that massively buffs the Android category team. I know the team is really good with a lot of really good units, but so many of these units have just such bad links, and this is one reason why. Buff that link. And Red Ribbon Army plus 300 attack? Dog. And the Red Ribbon Army link, by the way, is basically just Android 13, 14, and 15 units. That's pretty much it. Then, like, General Blue. That's it. Like, among SSRs and TURs, It's literally just Android 13, Fusion Android 13, Androids 14 and 15, and then Int General Blue, who's an Arale unit, who, like, no one has because he's an Arale unit, so that's not great. You know, his links are solid, I guess. You know, shocking speed. The only problem with Future Gohan, Cooler, and now this Android 13 is they don't give them the main key link. So Future Gohan doesn't have Prepared for Battle, and this guy and Cooler don't have Shocking Speed, which is it's stupidity. I hate that. I hate it so much. It's because they all transform. It doesn't bother them before they transform, but then after they transform, it's like, man, you know, I sure wish I had that link right now. You know, that'd be good. That'd be real good. Not necessarily for them, because they themselves all get key after they transform, but the unit next to them is always hurt. That's who it hurts, right? So 13, of course, has a 150% 12 key. I mean, that's not surprising. And then he's on a number of different category teams here, but, you know, he ain't one of these units you could just toss on every team and he's a beast, right? In order to really feel his power, you're going to want Android category units next to him. So right here, this is the target Goku category ally, I believe. Or this is the target Goku category. Yeah, this is it right here. Good, but we definitely need some more firepower there. We need another LR ASAP who works great with 13. That'll help the team out. He's on Movie Bosses. I don't really like his role. Like, you're not going to use 13 on Movie Bosses. There's just no way. You know, you could get him to transform. You know, you could run Cell on the team from full power and Fusion Android 13, but you're just not going to do it. Movie Bosses is too stacked. You're not going to run this guy. Now, the Android category team, obviously, if you're building the Android category team at this point, you start with, like, LR 16, 17, and 18, and then this guy probably is the number 2 unit you bring, and then, like, LR Int Cell is probably number 3. Like, that's generally the way you're going to do it. And then LR Int Cell will be the best unit on that team by far, especially with these 2 new support type units, but, you know, still, it's a little bit wonky. Y'all get what I'm saying. Then he's also over here on the Artificial Lifeform team. I mean, I really like this team. You're probably going to have this 13 be able to be very, very good on this team still, because all these androids are here. This team is just very cohesive, I've found. You got Kid Buu. This guy is about to get a Dokkan Awakening. He's going to be crazy. You know, there's definitely going to be added firepower added to this team soon, but without a true category leader, too, the team is just kind of forgotten about a little bit. And then finally, 13 is on Transformation Boost. I mean, you can easily transform here. Because all the Cell units are on Transformation Boost, right? They're all on here. But it's like, are you going to run, like, Tech LR First Form Cell, or are you going to run Blue Gogeta? you know what I'm saying? So, Transformation Boost, I don't know. So, pretty much this guy, I mean, I think Android, Target Goku, and Artificial Lifeform are his go-to spots. But Movie Boss and Transformation Boost, you know, it's cool that he's on there, but you're probably going to want to pass on that. And then, of course, you know, after the 5th turn, he does automatically transform with androids 14 and 15 around. It is a bit of a buzzkill, because I really actually would like if this guy was an active skill transformation unit. That would be much better than his auto transform nonsense, because, quite honestly, I have yet to be impressed with Fusion Android 13 after he transforms. Now, I'm sure after I rainbow him, we'll go on the Target Goku category team again, and he's going to look really good. But as of right now, he's just not blowing me away, right? So at this point, his super attack and his passive change, target eliminating circuit Fusion Android 13. Super attack becomes the SS Deadly Bomber, which does immense damage, greatly lowers defense, and a medium chance to stun. Again, like, really, we had to leave greatly lowering defense on there. They could have done a little bit better than that. Then his passive skill, Destroy the Target. So he gets 3 key and 130% attack and defense at the start of turn, which is good. Then he gets an additional 13% attack and defense for every target Goku category ally. So his defense and his attack are going to be very high. And that's without even having support type units around. So that is going to be good. He does have his guaranteed, you know, attacks connect against all enemies, which is nice. He disables enemies' guard, which I found to be completely pointless most of the time. And then he does perform guaranteed crits if he's fighting a Goku unit, just not counting Kid Goku, Ginyu Goku, and Goku Jr. So that is good, because Goku units are, like, a lot, like, I don't know, if I said Goku units are half of the game, is that true? Maybe. I mean, Goku is out there a lot, so it's not that bad. But still, like, let's directly compare this to Cooler. Cooler, who gets guaranteed crits against all Pure Saiyan and Hybrid Saiyans. And then we get 13, and it's just against Goku. Really, the mistake they made, they really should have dropped 13 first, then drop Cooler. That would have made a lot. It's just, like, 13 is Cooler, just he's worse in every single way. That's how I could describe Android 13. He is SDR Cooler, he's just worse in every single possible way. So here's Fusion Android 13. You know, I feel like I was incredibly negative towards him, but, I mean, there's just never been a more, like, the last unit as skippable as this. I mean, I guess I was telling people not to summon on Piccolo as well, even though, but I think Piccolo is far better than Android 13, especially after they transform. It's not, like, Piccolo is, you know, it's just on a different level. This 13 is just, like, a strong, boring unit, really. Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know if I'm off the mark or not. Here was Fusion Android 13. Definitely a skip. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.